how do we take back this fight? How do we win this battle that we're in? Because it seems daunting sometimes. It seems like the other side is so well organized, and that they're just minions that just do what they're told, and that liberal, progressive, socialist mindset they don't think for themselves. They just do whatever the top down tells them. It could be coming from the devil himself, and they'd walk off a cliff. And yet here we are in the conservative movement. We know we're right. We know that we have truth on our side. And yet we find ourselves constantly frayed and fractured, and the Lord is saying, you have to unify. And that word unity right now is being used a lot within our culture. Man, we need unity. We need unity, right? Well, we do, but we need to unify around truth. We're not going to unify just to unify, right? So we got to know the truth. And if you know the truth, what does Scripture say? The truth will set you free. Right? Yeah, this is great. I'm in a room full of Bible believing and really at the core of this battle, it's for freedom, right? And we know that God is the author of freedom. The God that our founders believed in, the Declaration of Independence so poetically scripted out, it recognizes that there is a God who values freedom so much. You think about that. God gave us freedom. It's the second greatest gift God ever gave us, second only to himself, was freedom. And when he put that tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the Garden of Eden, he did that because he valued freedom, even though he knew that it would be dangerous. It would be abused. It would lead to destruction. How many millions and billions of people have used that freedom for their own gain, and it's destroyed them, right? But for the sake of freedom, Galatians 5:1 says, it is for freedom's sake that Christ set us free. Right? That is why you're here tonight. So the Lord, I believe, like Terry was saying, divine appointments. I believe this is a divine appointment right here. And man, the powerhouse of people in this room right now is electric. It's awesome. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that Indiana is the crossroads of America. Right? I don't think I think the Lord wants to revive our nation, but he's going to do it. He's going to do it through what happens here in Indiana. Amen. And so you're in this very timely time. God's raising you up for just a time as this. And so I want to say thank you on behalf of our children, my children, on behalf of the people of our church here at Life Church. Thank you for what you're doing. And now, practically speaking, that's kind of the why, right? That's the why behind freedom. Like this is, you're in the fight, the reason. But how do we do this? How do we do this? And I have seen in Hamilton County, where I live, there has every election cycle comes around, and it's like conservatives and groups take each other out at the knees. They all get this one group, and it's like, oh man, we're so passionate about Second Amendment rights, and we're gonna defend guns, right? And we got a great candidate to run for school board who believes in the Second Amendment, right? And then you have the pro-life movement. We're so pro-life, and we got a great candidate that's going to run for school board from the pro-life perspective. And then you've got the evangelical conservatives saying, we'll run for school boards and see what happens, right? And you got all these people who are conservative, probably would be good, but they run for 3 candidates for 1 spot. And then what does the left do? They run 1 candidate for that 1 spot, and we basically split up our votes 100 different ways, and they get in. Not because there's more of them, they just unified, right? There's more of us, we just got fractured. And the Lord really, I think, as I would say, okay, Lord, so it's unity. And he said, Micah, go back to the Lord of the Rings. Go back to the story of the Lord of the Rings. Look at how they overcame that great evil. If you know that, if you know the books or you watch the movie, you see that there's these people fighting against evil. These the hobbits, the elves, the dwarves, the men, like they're fighting, but they didn't necessarily get along. They didn't necessarily like each other, but they all had good in their hearts, and they went out together and unified. And the unity is what ended up winning the day for them, right? And so that's what I believe we've got to do from this perspective here in Indiana. So when it comes to Hamilton County, the Lord said, hey, just start doing that. Get involved with these groups and help them with their mission. and be a mouthpiece that's encouraging all these groups. Be a hub. Be a central piece where you know what's going on in the health freedom. You know what's going on in the UCount audit. Audit the vote. You know what's going on with Purple for Parents. You know what's going on in the Living Liberty. All of these groups, and start pushing them down the road. Let them use your shoulders to stand on, so that they can get to new levels and new heights. And that was kind of the light bulb moment for me. It's let them use your shoulders to stand on. Now, what does that mean? That means that I'm not going to be the one going to new heights and new levels. But boy, the movement sure will. And I will be so proud to be the guy throwing people up to get to those new heights so that they can do what God's called them to do. But as we go into this, what happens almost always in these types of groups, you'll get the egos that will get in the way. You'll get the people say, it's about me, it's my group, I've got to stay, I want it, right? I want it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that is the quickest way to destroy whatever the Lord wants to do in Indiana. So we want to make sure with Unite Indiana and just this Indiana Liberty movement, with this unity that we're doing here right now, we want to make sure that you don't lose your individuality. Okay, what God's placed in your heart, we want you to keep doing that. All right, we're not trying to take that from you at all. We don't want to take that from you, but we want to empower you. We want to be a central hub to where people can say, you know how many times people come to me on a daily basis and say, I got to do something, Michael. What do I do? It takes me about 30 minutes if I really wanted to sit down with them and discuss, okay, what are your passions, what are your giftings? Let's go through a spiritual gift assessment and your skill set. What do you like to do? All this kind of stuff. And then I can say, hey, I know a great group, okay? So, connect with Leah Wilson, right? She's doing the health. It sounds like you got a health freedom kind of, you're against the forced vaccines, okay? Connect. But then, or it's like, hey, you want to make sure that there's schools, connect with Purple for Parents, right? Or pro-life, connect with Hoosiers for Life or John Jacob. But if we had a place where people could just go, and that was already set up, and then you could, in your area, say, hey, just go to this one central hub, and then you're going to find out where you can fit in to this giant movement that's happening within our state. That's what I think the vision of what you're here tonight is all about. Okay, so we're not asking you to give up in any way, shape, or form your autonomy. It's not. We're not going to. You're not going to lose that. This is us coming together and say, how can we use our shoulders so that the people in the room can stand on our shoulders and get to new heights. And I think that when we do that, this could not only just birth something beautiful, a liberty just movement that will last for years and years to come in Indiana. I think it could revolutionize what's happening in the United States. I think other states will look at us and say, well, how did you do that? And we'll say, well, this is how we did it. But it's got to start with us saying, all right, everything we have is God's. It's not ours. And whether I'm the person or not, whether you're the person or not, it doesn't matter, because ultimately God is the person. It's Him, right? And so my encouragement to you today is one, just you're doing great work. I want you to know that. I see. Sometimes it may seem like you're working hard, and there's maybe not a lot of people come out to a rally that you did, or maybe a lot of people do come out to a rally that you did, or maybe you're not getting a lot of movement, you're not getting the right people elected, or you're not getting bills through, or whatever it might be. You're influencing a ton of people right now, and that's awesome. How can we take that, unify it together, and influence even more people, and actually make a huge difference and win this fight that we're in? And if we don't unify, I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. It's got to be about unity. And so I'm so thankful for guys like Terry and Brad, and just that they've been God put this on their heart. So I'm thankful for each one of you that what you're doing is. I'm looking around the room, and honestly, you got so many good people in here. Keep doing what you're doing, but ask God in this meeting tonight. Okay, Lord, how do I fit in to this grand scheme of unity that you are bringing together in Indiana? Okay, and I don't have the answer for that. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I know the Lord does. And so just continue to be open tonight, be receptive, and let's think how we can come together and unify. If we do that, we're going to win. I promise you. So thank you, and we appreciate the opportunity to share. And I'm going to turn it back over to Terry. Okay, cool, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.